Criminal Justice 3's Khushi Bharadwaj on being called just child actor. It limits us exclusive from TV to film. This young actor has been steadily building an impressive body of work. However, it's her recent role as a neurodivergent teenager in Criminal Justice, a family matter, that's earned her widespread acclaim. In an exclusive chat with News 18 Shosha, 17-year-old Khushi Bharadwaj opens up about the challenges of portraying IRA, the responsibility that comes with representing someone on the autism spectrum, and how she's navigating the entertainment industry as a young performer. Excerpts from the conversation: What drew you to the role in Criminal Justice? Did you audition, or was the part written with you in Mindy? Auditioned for the role during one of the most hectic times of my life, ME 10th board exams. But when I read IRA's character breakdown, I felt an instant connection. She wasn't just a teenager, she was layered, intelligent, emotionally complex, and neurodivergent. That's a rare combination. The role felt important, and even though the timing wasn't ideal, I knew I had to go for it. It wasn't written with me in mind, but once I was selected, I gave it everything I had. Did working on a legal drama change the way you think about the justice system in India's? It did. Especially because the story was told from such an emotional, human lens. It wasn't just about laws, it was about how justice affects families, young people, and those who don't fit neatly into normal categories. As someone playing a neurodivergent character, it also made me think about how inclusive our neurodiverse systems really are. How did you get into acting? Was it something you always wanted to pursue? Acting was always a part of me, even before I fully understood it as a career. I used to perform in school plays, mimic characters, and lose myself in stories. But I started taking it seriously a few years ago when I began auditioning. Criminal Justice was a huge turning point because it was the kind of role that challenged me on every level. How has your life changed after being part of a major series like Criminal Justice? It's honestly been overwhelming in the best possible way. After the series came out, I started receiving messages from actors, casting directors, and filmmakers, people I really admire. Some reached out to share how moved they were by the performance, while others wanted to know more about how I prepared for IRA. That kind of validation means a lot, especially for a role that was so emotionally demanding. I've also received so many heartfelt messages from people outside the industry, some saying the show helped them understand someone in their life better, others simply saying IRA made them feel seen. That's when I realized this role wasn't just a project, it had created a genuine emotional connection with people, and that's changed how I see storytelling and its impact. Nana post shared by Khushi Bharadwaj. _officially You're only 17, yet you've already played emotionally intense roles. Do you ever feel the industry expects too much maturity from child or teen actors too soon? I do think young actors are often expected to handle very emotionally intense roles with a lot of maturity, which we're usually more than ready to do. We work just as hard as anyone else and put everything into our performances. In my case, I gave everything I had to play IRA truthfully. But sometimes, I've noticed that even when young actors deliver strong performances, they're still seen as just child actors, and that can limit the kind of recognition or opportunities we receive. It's not always intentional, but there's a certain hesitation when it comes to giving us the same trust or visibility that more experienced actors get. That being said, I've also seen that things are slowly changing. Roles like IRA wouldn't have been written a few years ago. So, I do believe we're moving in a better direction. I just hope the industry continues to open up to the idea that young performers are capable of carrying emotional depth and responsibility, and they deserve to be recognized for that with the same seriousness and respect. Nana post shared by Applause Entertainment. Applause Social. Have you ever had to say no to something that felt inappropriate for your age? Yes. There have been a few auditions or scripts that didn't feel right, either because of the way young characters were written or because they didn't align with how I want to grow as an actor. I'm really lucky to have parents and mentors who back me when I say no. How was it working with Pankaj Tripathi? Did he give you any piece of advice? Working with him was one of the biggest learning experiences of my life. He's so effortless and present. One thing he told me was to never act, just be. He leads with honesty, and being around that made me more grounded in my own performance. You play a teenager with Asperger's in criminal justice. Were you ever concerned that the role could be seen as performative or insensitive if not portrayed authentically? Absolutely. That was my biggest concern. I knew I had to approach IRA with respect and responsibility. I did over 45 hours of training, worked with a psychiatrist, watched real-life vlogs, and avoided fictional portrayals that rely on stereotypes. The goal wasn't to perform symptoms, but to understand IRA as a whole person and express her truthfully. Nana post shared by Khushi Bharadwaj. Khushi_officially Ove worked in TV, films, and aut. Have you ever faced casting experiences that made you uncomfortable or question the system you're entering? So young so far, I haven't faced anything like that, and I think a big reason for that is my mom. She handles all my casting queries and communication, and she makes sure that everything is respectful and professional. Having that kind of support system really helps, especially when you're young and just starting out. It creates a safe boundary so I can focus on the creative side without having to worry about the uncomfortable parts of the process. Would you still act if social media and validation didn't exist, or do likes, reels, and reviews fuel your motivation? Sometimes I'd still act without social media. The joy of building a character and telling a story is way bigger than likes or comments. But sometimes, positive feedback does give a little boost of motivation. Were you dropped from projects at the last minute because a star kid or a more popular name took over? I was dropped from a project once, but it was for a valid reason. These things happen in the industry, and you learn to accept them and move on. What's the nicest thing a fan has ever told you that you'll never forget? After the release of Criminal Justice, I received a message from a fan who said, "Khushi, you are a wonderful actor and a kind soul. Be like this always and keep moving onward because you have set your acting bar high. You can face challenges, stay honest to your role and yourself." That message truly touched me and motivates me every day. Latest blogs.